It's always cool when a wrestler wears gear inspired by something from pop culture. Being a superhero fan, I love seeing WWE wrestlers dressed as comic book characters. In 2020, we saw a decent number of WWE wrestlers wearing attires inspired by superheroes, so let's revisit them. For some reason, a lot of WWE wrestlers decided to dress as superheroes at the 2020 Royal Rumble. Not too surprisingly, Rey Mysterio is one of them. The luchador entered at number 7 wearing a Batman-inspired attire. No cape unfortunately, but Mysterio's gear looked great. It had some cool details, like Batman's yellow belt and his signature pointy ears. Rey ended up lasting about 3 minutes before unceremoniously being flung over the top rope by Brock Lesnar. A little later in the Men's Royal Rumble, MVP made a surprise entry, and it looked like he had just returned from Wakanda. Now, a lot of people were saying MVP was dressed as Black Panther, but I'm getting more Killmonger vibes from this attire. What do you think? Unfortunately though, thanks to Brock Lesnar, Mr. 305 didn't get to spend a whole lot of time in the ring, and was eliminated in less than a minute. Luckily though, MVP would bring back his Wakanda attire later in the year. Turning over to the Women's Royal Rumble, Lana also showed off her Marvel love by dressing up as Captain Marvel. The red, blue, and gold attire looked awesome, and the sparkles made it look even more spectacular. It was so good in fact, that Lana also wore it on the Raw after the Royal Rumble. Even though she was dressing like a superhero, Lana would be the first woman eliminated, and the wrestler who did it was Liv Morgan, who was also wearing superhero-inspired gear. There's a bit of a debate on what character Morgan dressed as. Some people said Liv was dressed as the Marvel character Black Cat, and others were saying DC's Black Canary. I'm leaning towards Black Canary, as Birds of Prey was just about to release, and Liv's attire was lacking Black Cat's signature white fur. Either way, Morgan eliminated Lana, but would soon get pulled out herself. Like the Ravishing Russian, Liv Morgan also wore her superhero-inspired attire even after the Rumble. Lana wasn't the only Captain Marvel fan in the match though. The 28th entry, Tegan Knox, also dressed as the heroine. Sort of. Knox actually has a history of wearing gear inspired by Captain Marvel. She usually wears a similar looking attire, but changes the design and colors. At the Royal Rumble, she decided to do something new and combined her Captain Marvel gear with Iron Man colors. It looked really awesome, and this isn't the only superhero gear Tegan has worn this year. Only a few weeks after the Royal Rumble, Knox appeared on NXT TakeOver Portland wearing a Captain Marvel attire based on the superhero's time as a member of the Kree. Then about 2 months later, the girl with the shiniest wizard showed off another Captain Marvel attire. This one is the signature red, blue, and gold, and I have to say, it's my favorite one Tegan Knox has worn this year. The reason Captain Marvel has inspired so much of Knox's gear is because, while the Welsh wrestler was out with an injury, she watched the 2019 film. Tegan Knox revealed at the time she was in a bad place both physically and mentally, and the movie helped her get out of it.
It saved me physically, it saved me mentally, and I feel like it could possibly be the reason my career is saved.
Wait, MVP's on this list twice? Yep. One day after returning, Montel Vontavious Porter showed up on Raw, wearing gear referencing another Marvel hero, the Punisher. The black with the red skull looked awesome, even if he still lost the match. Later in the year, MVP would also bring out a more traditional Punisher attire with the classic white skull. Like his Wakanda gear, MVP would wear his Punisher costume a few more times. To get under the skin of the Mysterio family, Seth Rollins wore gear that was a direct reference to the attire Rey wore in 1997. The reason why I bring this costume up is that the costume Rey Mysterio wore in 97 was inspired by a superhero called the Phantom. So technically, the attire Rollins wore at SummerSlam was based on a comic book character. It's a bit ironic, considering the Monday Night Messiah is a villain, but I have to say, that purple attire looked pretty cool. This next one may not be a superhero attire, but we'll throw it in just to be safe. At WrestleMania, the Queen of Spades got set for the biggest match of her career so far. For the special moment, Shayna Baszler came out wearing a beautiful red and gold attire. Maybe it's not supposed to, but the outfit does give off Wonder Girl vibes. Even if she was trying to channel the look of Wonder Woman's niece, it wasn't enough, and Shayna was defeated by Becky Lynch. I'm noticing that a lot of wrestlers who dressed like superheroes this year ended up losing their matches. Which wrestler had the coolest superhero attire this year? Let me know in the comments. Shoutout goes out to Barry Cy Homing, who commented on our best WWE intergender wrestling moments of 2020 video. The music we used, Barry, is called Gateway Powder by DJ Freedom. Hit the annotation on the left to give that video a watch. Until next time, I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and take it easy.